Hey guys, this is Carius with a Blacklight commentary. This is a deathmatch in Deadlock. I was using an LMG this round because I got bored of the HAR because it's a little bit of an easy win gun. It's not overpowered, but it just kind of feels too easy if you use them in deathmatches simply because they kind of excel at deathmatch. Since there's no teams, you're not going to have sniper fights and there's not going to be any counter sniping. It's just going to be really up close and personal. So the HAR's ridiculous DPS at close range is just too good. Like, that thing will drop in 3 shots or less if you're using a light build. So that thing is really good for close quarters. It's also more or less one of my favorite weapon receivers, so I'm kind of good with it. So yeah, this LMG guide. Well, it's not so much of a guide, it's just kind of tips and tricks with the LMG. For the LMGs, I would recommend going for a high damage build and kind of not ignoring recoil, but it's not going to be too big a deal given LMGs already have a pretty big recoil, so the attachments aren't going to change much. So yeah, go for the high damage so you can get a good 3-shot kill on at least everything except the, strongest. Like, you're not going to be able to 3-hit Grendel because he's got 250 and that's going to need around, I think, 88 damage per shot, and that's ridiculous, and you can't get that with anything except combat rifles. So with LMGs, yeah, I'd recommend going with a high damage. Also, the key with LMGs is to kind of control your engagements to be between about 10 meters and 20 meters, because anything closer than 10 meters and they're too unwieldy to be used in close quarters effectively, unlike SMGs. So you really want to keep them at least about 10 meters, or a minimum 5 if you really have to. That death was a good example of why, simply because you saw how that knife lunge being easily able to stab me in the face, despite the fact that I was firing a shotgun. So yeah, you need to keep your distances where that weapon is most comfortable. Also, don't aim for people who have got cover behind railings like that, because none of my shots connected on that guy. Maybe one, so he was able to, kill me because he already had a HP advantage after I'd just taken out 2 guys. And he also had the height advantage, and I wasn't paying attention to my HRV. That's an example of how not to use the LMGs, because that was pretty lucky. If I didn't get that headshot, he may have just decided to turn around and shoot me in the dome before I could. So yeah, LMGs are all about controlling the engagement. I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again because it's just that important with light machine guns. Another important part is aim down the sight. I know this sounds like Call of Duty all over again, but just aim down the sights, guys. It's an LMG, they've got high recoil, and the only way to get close to an AR spread is to aim down the sights, because when you aim down the sights, LMGs get, I think, a much higher percentage of accurate aim than any other weapon compared to the hipfire, which is just due to their hipfire just being that bad. Also, when it comes to using the LMGs, while most weapons avoid long automatic fire, that's what's encouraged with the LMGs, because while most weapons' accuracies just kind of keep suffering with extended fire, an LMG kind of improves over time because you kind of reach not so much as a recoil limit, but a spread limit. So after a point of consistent firing, your spread isn't going to get any larger, so after that point you'll have at least a consistent cone at which you can aim with. And also the fact that you're sending a continuous stream of lead downrange is going to put pressure on most enemies and make them more likely to mess up, because they're going to be like, holy crap, bullets everywhere, I gotta hide. This again comes back to the LMG's main strength of being a very suppression-based weapon. What you want to do is make the enemies kind of shrink back a bit, maybe just kind of try to avoid the fire a little, and that volume of fire, most of it's going to hit them if you're on target, but it's just the fact that you're putting off their aim more so than improving your own by sending that volume of lead downrange that's going to get you the kill. And I guess that's all I really have to say on the LMG. I hope you enjoyed this video. Rate, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I'll just leave you guys with that.